What's up, guys? Sub Derek here, back for another VOD review. Today, a dish soap VOD review. He is pretty high up there on ladder, not sitting at his usual rank 1 self because he's been taking the set a little bit easy. So, he's only like 1400 LP right now, but he's playing good TFT. He did a really long stream this morning on the new patch, so I wanted to review it. Also, down below me, right there. There's still the Monopoly Go thing. If you didn't catch it last time, you can get entered into a free coaching session if you do these Monopoly Go goals. Just boom, scan that QR code, download onto your phone, play a game, get entered into free coaching as long as you screenshot the goals and put it into my Discord. It's too easy. And look, we got already some people who have been working on the early challenges. So hey, pretty hype. I think Dishsoap actually missed this early shop here. I don't know. Maybe he was thinking about whether he wanted to make 10 gold or not. But there's the QR code. Look at this. Already 10 people who reached London. What a beast. All right, I am gonna get rid of this because it's a little distracting. Okay. Dishsoap could potentially make 10 gold in this spot. I wouldn't recommend it. I would just buy out the whole shop. I'm kind of surprised because, yeah, he missed Seraphine and he missed that extra Elise, which is kind of rough. Now he might be in a world. I mean, there's no way, right, Dishsoap? There's no way we're going to play Cinder reroll in this spot. I mean, Cinder did get buffed. I do actually think this comp is probably underrated. We do have a Nash. If we got a tier here, it could be a Cinder game. Oh, no tier though, so probably not a Cinder game. And we are just going to sell off the rest of our stuff here. What do we want to hold on to? Like a Nomsy maybe? But he certainly wants to make 10 gold. The items look pretty AD to me though, honestly. Something like an IE. I mean, you don't really want to go IE Gwinsu's. We'll see. We'll see what first augment is here. But okay. Interesting that he holds on to like Cassidon and stuff over this Mage Opener. But I guess his idea is that the Mage Opener is kind of awkward here. I mean, you do have like a Nashor's JG setup if you want it. I'm a little surprised about the castle, but I guess the idea is multi-strikers, right? You have the Ash already. You might want to be able to play towards multi-striker opener. But this is big, right? These small units that you end up holding can drastically impact your early game. But okay, first augment here. You have my bow, Spoils of War, Two Tanky. I will spoil that I know what augment he takes here, and that's not a pun. Spoils of War and the other one pretty solid, but Two Tanky. Dishsoap says, you know what, it is 2-1. I am just going to hard commit to playing around Two Tanky in this spot. My other options, he did actually have Deja Vu with a Gwinsu, which is kind of funny, but he opts to not go for that. And so this is going to be Two Tanky Honeymancy reroll, which we'll see if he ends up putting it in early or if he just wants to play the Eldritch board. For now, I think this makes the most sense, the strongest board. And he does even level up. Whoa. Wow, but he's gonna make the LW, gonna throw the rod down, and his idea is going to be Two Tanky, playing around Honeymancy and playing around more like Kogmaw type stuff. It certainly seems here. So there's an idea behind Two Tanky Honeymancy reroll. If you guys haven't played around it yourselves, obviously the more Honeymancy units you have on the board, the more bees that you get. Also, it's just really beneficial to get that huge Honeymancy shield. What will happen is, your little, say you have a Blitzcrank 3 and then a Blitzcrank 2 on the board. The little Blitzcrank will die, give a big shield to the big Blitzcrank, also give the bees to the big Blitzcrank, and then you just have a monstrous tank that's also doing extra damage from Honeymancy. And, if you can get to something crazy like 5 Honeymancy, then you have an insane amount of damage just coming from straight up bees. I really like this from Dishsoap, though. This is just a good TFT player way to play the game. He knows that he wants to play towards Honeymancy this game, but he doesn't have it yet, right? He doesn't have like the Kogmaw and stuff like that. So you know what he's gonna do? He's just gonna sit on his board currently, have a Last Whisper on his Syndra sit here, and this is just going to be his board for the early game. Also, that person with the Eldritch spot looked really cool. And ooh, even look at this. The Giga play for Streak here, the double level for Shyvana in this spot just to be as strong as possible. I love, man, this is such a Dishsoap way to play the early game, just playing for strongest board, making the slams that make sense. And he knows that he's playing towards this comp later, but he's not just going to lazily say, well, I'll put 2 Nunus and 2 Blitzcranks on my board because then I'm going to play them later. You don't have to play those units right now. It didn't even cost him gold because of the way he's been playing around these units so far. This is awesome. I imagine we'll look for a Shojin here if we can pick it up. We can't get it, so we're going to look for like a tank item maybe, or maybe a bow. Oof. I mean, we're not going for Gwinsu, right? I guess we'll find out here soon enough. But Gwinsu sounds pretty bad. I imagine this rod's going to end up becoming a tank item. So yeah, this is the only thing that feels bad to me is that we're on a 3 streak and we don't actually have a slam here. But you can see, Dishsoap, these are the units that he needs to be to put in his planner because that's going to be his board. Just a bunch of those. And oh, he's looking at it. Okay, he doesn't have to slam here. Really good. Dishsoap waiting on the fight here. This is a really good practice when you're trying to play good TFT is don't slam this item before you see the fight because Guinsu is not, like ideal on Kog'Maw. You would prefer to not have to slam it, but if slamming this gives him a 5 streak, then it's worth it. This is something that, Dishsoap and really good players know so well, is that the value of having something like a 5 streak here is huge, and it's high enough that maybe you would opt to, slam something that's a little bit suboptimal for your late game. Also, this is nice. Put the Ashe in here. She's gonna be a better holder of the Guinsu, and she's also a just a solid unit. This guarantees that we get to make 30 gold even if we lose the fight. Now, he does end up slamming the Guinsu here. Just once again, not the best item on Kog'Maw. It's not amazing. I don't think this is BIS by any means, but it does continue his streak here, which is the biggest thing. Also, maybe his idea is that with something like Two Tanky, you're going to have an insanely tanky front line, so maybe Guinsu's is a little bit better. We could, I'm down to just delve into the stats for a quick sec here to see, and let's just explore this out and just look at Kog'Maw 3. Let's start it with just Kog'Maw 3, because obviously we're not going to have a lot of, or we're not going to have a lot of stuff. I mean, the statistics, yeah, they kind of hate Guinsu. I mean, statistically, this is saying it's like one of the worst item that you could build on a Kog'Maw 3. If you throw Two Tanky in there, I wonder if it does get any better. And I'm going to go to last patch so that we actually have some sample here. I imagine it still doesn't change it that much. So, I mean, but this makes sense, right? I just want to verify that Guinsu is not, new secret BIS on Kog'Maw, and people aren't going to be in the comments like, you guys didn't know? Guinsu is like BIS on Kog'Maw now. But this makes sense, right? From a perspective of trying to win streak here. Now, I wonder if we level and roll in this spot. We would, spend a little bit extra of our gold here, but yep, there's one Kog'Maw. We need to find at least a second, well, not necessarily a second Kog'Maw here. Yeah, you could just play this for now. Now we definitely need to find a second Nunu, though. He actually fits the 5 honey in here. Wow, a really, really nice roll down from Dishsoap here. Can't obviously make the even shroud because we already have LW, but hopefully this is enough to win the fight. I mean, 5 honeymancy really, really big here. That is a nice roll down from Dishsoap, actually. On the fly, realizing that he's not going to be able to pick up a second Nunu, so he just picks up all the honeymancy units and plays 5 honey here. That's really, really nice. All right, second augment here. I don't think you really want Epoch in a spot like this because it's actually going to push you to level 7 a little too fast. You're going to get 8 XP here and then another 8 here, and you're going to be like basically level 7 at that point. Vertically Inclined actually sounds quite good in this because you're only playing one trait. I wonder if it's just that, and the Comm Advantage is like a solid augment as well. But yeah, he's looking at the Vertically Inclined. I mean, it makes sense, right? I don't think we really need high voltage, or I mean, I guess you could take high voltage. But yeah, I mean, I think this makes sense. All right, now that we have the Blitz, we have to roll down to at least finding Nunu. We do pick up the Nunu here. So now, boom, this is our board here. And if we find another Blitz, I wonder then what becomes of our board. Say we find another Blitz here. Do we want to drop down to 4 Honeymancy and just play like a Hunter, or do we want to just keep playing this 5 here? Because 5 is a lot of damage for everybody. So, I mean, I think this makes sense. You can see our front line dies, especially those like lower, like kind of useless Honeymancies, the just the weaker ones. Those die kind of quickly, but when they give the shields to, like when this little Nunu dies and gives the shield to the big Nunu, that's really, really good. Dishsoap is positioned very, very well for like a right to left team fight. And oh, look at this. Yeah, he is going to make this call the second he finds a, it's interesting actually, another Kog'Maw, because it's not really what you think about. Ooh, this is kind of weird positioning as well. It's not what you think about when you think about Two Tanky, you think about doubling up the front line, but he's going to double up the back line here and just play a second Kog'Maw here. They feed off each other. What's surprising me though is that he has this Kog'Maw not in the corner. You really want that right Kog'Maw to die before the your big Kog'Maw, so that it gives the shield over. Ends up being okay. I'm actually surprised by this. I think I definitely would have done this if I had another Blitzcrank, but with just another Kog'Maw, I think I would have just sat on this board, the 5 honey version, but we'll see. Maybe he'll swap back. There's stuff like Gargoyle that exists. There's also just another Nunu. If Declaw is takeable in this lobby, you could grab that. AP, I mean, an okay amount of AP. That's another AP, the Ari board. So a decent amount of Ari in this lobby. I could certainly see it being taken here. Gonna continue to slow roll here, just looking for everything. And the big thing is also looking for combat charms. Yeah, he's even gonna roll over that one and look for a better combat charm. He doesn't actually pick one up. Ooh, this is scary. Opting to not pick combat charm here. The upside though, looks like the board that we're fighting is pretty weak, so I think we'll be okay. Yeah, this board holding some of our Kog'Maws, which is actually kind of annoying, but it's okay. But yeah, I'm actually really surprised that he didn't take a bunch of belts there, but maybe he's that confident in his board. I mean, that person that we fought looked pretty bad board wise. Maybe he scouted everybody and realized Dishsoap is very good at doing these quick scouts. There's Nunu 2 that's huge, and also the charm there to give his board some extra HP. And yeah, he's even going to sell off the Vagar, saying, you know what, who cares about this? I'm just going to play this as my board, dig for the Nunu 3 and the Kog'Maw 3, and this is going to be my setup, and I think it makes sense. Looking at the Declaw slam, beautiful slams this when it's once again, exact same as the Gwinsu slam. He doesn't have to slam Declaw until it's going to make a difference in this fight. He slams Declaw here, and it's absolutely a Declaw diff. I mean, just nice, just clean TFT from Dishsoap. Really, really showing how to play good TFT. Slamming the items when it matters, not necessarily greeting for BIS or anything. And because he's done all this, look at this. He's been given access to a 100 streak here. Imagine if he hadn't slammed that Gwinsu, because Gwinsu's not BIS Kogmaw, then he wouldn't be 100 streaking here, and you would absolutely take all the gold that we got from this 100 streak. He's probably up like 20 or more gold because of the fact that he's 100 streaking versus, you know, if he had just not played for the 100 streak here. And yeah, it's so nice to see. I mean, you ever just go Warmog Spark here? Let's roll down. There's Kogmaw, there's Nunu. I mean, we're pretty close. He didn't actually take the one that gives bees extra attack speed. I think statistically that's actually a really good one, charm-wise. He does hit the Nunu 3, which is a big hit here. And this is gonna be our setup here. We're one off Kogmaw 3. He is gonna make the Warmog Spark. Honeymancy damage is magic damage, so Spark is actually pretty nice here. And of course, it's just a slam, and slam is good. So yeah, this actually looks perfect for him. The only downside is his Nunu has a distinct lack of armor, so when we fight a board like this, it's a little scary. We do end up winning though, which is good because that would have been a tragic loss. I'm actually not sure what looks really good here. Combat Caster strikes me as underwhelming because you're already getting so much, you already have so much HP onto these units, so this flat shield doesn't really seem that interesting to me. I guess you could take something like Ascension. Your frontline buys a lot of time, and then once you get to the Kog'Maw, you have all the bees and all the Ascension doing insane damage. You could, once again, just throw in something like this into Explorer and just throw in like Two Tanky, and then the problem is like this is going to have a lot of other stuff, so, you know, like, I guess you could try to filter out other stuff. Looks like mostly it is this version though, but so like throw in Two Tanky, go to last patch just to get some better stats. Though obviously the stats, let's see, 4.47 on this patch. What's the diff? Yeah, 4.26. They got a lot better this patch with the Honeymancy buffs, which makes sense. But yeah, just look at something like Ascension. 4.34, not amazing, actually. I wonder about, could Combat Caster really be better? 4.1, I mean, the stats say Combat Caster is better, just raw with Two Tanky. Obviously, this is not filtered down at all. I'm surprised, though. I feel like Combat Caster would be underwhelming here, but I guess we'll see. We'll see what Dishsoap takes here. Yeah, he doesn't want to go for that. Item Collector actually looks pretty good. We have a decent amount of items here. Let's see what the stats say about Item Collector. Wow, it says it's crap. I mean, okay, why not? We'll see though what Dishsoap takes. Capricious is an interesting pickup here. I love this item. You can throw it onto a Blitzcrank 3 would be the idea. I kind of love that, just Capricious Blitzcrank 3. Ooh, Mentorship's quite good. Actually, Mentorship kind of sucks, now that I think about it. I want it to be good. Oh my god. Okay, this looks like one of my roll downs. Rolling it to 0 gold and doesn't actually pick up a single Kog'Maw here. That is crazy. Has to throw the Capricious Forge actually onto the Nunu, which is kind of interesting. I imagined it was going to just go onto the Blitzcrank with the idea that we're hitting Blitzcrank 3. But once again, well, maybe not once again. I don't think I've said this game so far, but we do have okay, what is that charm called? I want to look something up real quick. That charm is called Busy Bees. So another stats check thing if you guys are interested in doing it. Meta TFT has charm win rates, round win rates. So let's go to stage 4, and I just want to pull up Busy Bees because I thought it was, ooh, okay, it's actually horrible. It has a negative round win rate. Okay, well, we learned. Maybe I was looking at it like later in the game. Maybe does it get better the later in the game you get? Nope, it gets even worse. Okay. Well, I think Dishsoap's a very smart player. It looks like it's fine stage 3. It's pretty good stage 3. But yeah, very, very, very bad in later stages of the game. Okay, good call. Good call from Mr. Dishsoap. And boom, there's the Kogmaw 3. You can put an extra Kogmaw onto the board. He's one off Blitz, which is kind of a funny situation to be in, because obviously he really wants to level in spots like these to improve his board. Like next round, he really, he's even just going to level this round to preserve streak. I think it makes sense. And he's just going to say, you know what, I trust that I'll find Blitzcrank 3. He's not... this is another trap that I think a lot of TFT players fall into, rolling down for just one unit, right? He does not want to just roll on 6 for one Blitzcrank, because there's decent odds he just rolls 20 gold and doesn't find a single Blitzcrank. Whereas this level up here, it's a huge spike in power. It's 2 Hunter onto this Kogmaw 3, and even to a second Kogmaw. So I think this makes perfect sense from Mr. Dishsoap here. I wonder what we're going for item-wise at this point, though. Heal Cut, I guess, is the only thing that we're missing. So you would go for, like, I don't know, ideally a red buff, I would think. He's looking at Glove here, I think he picked up, for maybe like a TG onto somebody else eventually, but we'll see. I'm also still really surprised about this middle Kogmaw positioning. The 2 Kog'Maws are going to buff each other regardless, but I would really imagine that you would want that other Kog'Maw to die first. I guess this way you get the big Kog'Maw buff onto the Twitch, but yeah. I don't know. It's interesting positioning. But hey, in any case, our board very, very strong here at this point. We've hit all of our 3 stars. We're on a 13 streak here, and it doesn't look like we're close at all to stopping. We stomped this guy. We get our that was major whatever it's called, major bet. Okay, I don't think it's called major bet, but it's called something like that, where it's a big bet, double down. Nope, that's the name of the charm. Okay, or the augment. You guys know what it's called. But we got some gold out of it, which was huge. What is it? Gamble, big gamble, major gambit. I think that's what it is, major gambit. We get the hilarious combination here of the Eternal Winter plus the Spectral Cutlass here. So the Nunu's just going to teleport into the backline, die pretty quickly, but hey, at least he slowed down the Zoe. And yeah, this Nunu is so hard for them to deal with. That is the 15 streak for Dishsoap. My God. I'm also surprised actually that he's holding on to the Tom Can. Well, maybe not. Maybe his idea. I wonder what Dishsoap wants his level 8 to look like. Because there's a lot of options. You could play 5B, which sounds like a pretty big buff to me. You could obviously just play like Bastion, Vanguard stuff. You could throw in like a Tom Kench plus a Hecarim and also get Arcana in. You could just play random Hunter because Hunter is good. Like I'm really curious to see what his board ends up being, because he's got a lot of gold to work with. He's basically, oh my God, wait, the target dummies. Do they get, I think they do get big guy, whatever this is called. He does skip the Vagar there, so his idea is actually that this board is strongest here, and he does opt to take the red buff like we were talking about. Needs heal cut, that's the main thing he needs. I'm surprised that Bastion Hunter, in his opinion, is actually strongest board. Interesting. I mean, we can do a quick stats check as well. One more. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to the stats check. And just look up to Tanky here. And then just start looking at like traits. Obviously, like 5 Honeymancy looks good. How bad does 3 Honeymancy look? Obviously, 5 is going to be better than 3 in the stats. And then stuff like Bastion and Hunter. But Hunter does not have that much of a negative delta. The statistics really don't seem to be, to me, saying that 2 Hunter is that important of a thing to play. And the statistics certainly, like, based on what I'm seeing here, would say that you would rather just play 5 Honey Ant over or Bastion. I guess you can also look at the stats for like Vagar and Ziggs, which are kind of like the least important units to play, and then compare it to something like Tom Kench. Tom Kench looks really good. Hecarim looks okay. Interesting. So Tom Kench like seems like a shoe-in to play. Then these units, I mean, are about the same. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. But in Dishsoap's evaluation, this is the strongest board, I guess, unless that was a mistake. Who knows? This looks like it's going to be our first loss as well. Oh, I'll call it a 5 Honeymancy diff, but I mean, who knows? But that is rough. He's going to take the Animate Shop here, actually. Pick up some Tom Kenches, pick up an Ari. I'm really curious to see if he sees another Vagar, if he's interested in... oh, there's the Vagar, and yeah, he does still skip it. So in his opinion, this is strongest board here. Just getting the Arcana in onto this board. It's a lot of AD onto the board. It's a lot of damage reduction onto the board, and it's both Bastion and Vanguard. I mean, I think this makes sense. You do, once again, like when we pull up the stats for Hecarim don't look amazing. The stats for 2 Arcana do look very good in this comp, so I could certainly see it. And obviously, one way to filter out stats is just to include Honeymancy +1. I think some people will yap and say you should do this, and maybe this will... But still, actually, if you exclude Honeymancy, Emblem 5 Honeymancy still looks really, really good to play around. And let's see, Bastion, Vanguard. I mean, it pales into comparison to all of them. Interesting. But... And by Dishsoap's approximation, this is the strongest board to play on. I mean, it obviously looks very, very good. You can't really complain about it. All right, but I mean, yeah, this is just our setup at this point. He's looking just for a level up to get like an Olaf in. Ooh, this is a fun call. Wait, this was actually pretty sick. This isn't going to last forever, though. But he moves the TG over to the Blitzcrank here, gets the second Blitzcrank from Trickster's Glass, and so he says, for a round, I'm going to put Ari into this board and have 3 Arcana. Wait, that's actually so sick. So he doesn't actually have to lose the double Blitzcrank for now, but he gets to actually play 3 Arcana. That's a really, really cool little play from Dishsoap. Man, these best players, they just do all of these really nice like little things during the game. I feel like it matters so much. I also have no clue what we're going here. I guess it would be Protector's Vow for TK. Like probably his best single item, and we have a TK too. He's looking at something else, maybe. No, okay, ends up just taking the Vow. Yeah, I can't imagine that it would be something else, but okay. This is just our spot, and we're looking to push 9. Yeah, and he does end up getting the Blitzcrank back in. I think this makes perfect sense. I mean, it's too hard to just play completely down the Blitzcrank. Also note that he's holding onto the Ziggs just in case, you know, what if we end up finding a Honeymancy +1 off of the carousel here. Wait, this is actually... I don't want to go back and look at it, but I wonder about something. Let me... I mean, yeah, I mean, I have no way of knowing if he did this on purpose, but dish soap might be a B. We'll go back at the end of the game and look at it if you guys remind me, which obviously you're not going to because you're not here. But I want to check something out right at the end of the game because if he did this, Dishsoap is a monster, and we'll see if he ends up getting. Because I'm trying to think. I think he might have done it on purpose. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. At the end, I mean, we're coming very close to the end of the game because we're 88 HP here, so not too much suspense for you guys. Though, ooh, this is a strong board that we're fighting. Warwick 3. We talked in the last spot about the strength of Warwick 3, and look at that. That Warwick 3 board is a monstrous here. We are 74 HP, so if we can just find a single win, then we will get the dub most likely. But yeah, I mean, these are some strong boards that we have to fight through at the end. Hopefully, I mean, certainly they should kill each other. Oh, this is also Crab Brave, so I mean, maybe they'll just die to the crab. That's the hope. I can't imagine a Warwick 3 dying to the crab, though. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, both of them end up beating the crab. Do we end up beating the crab as well? So that's at least something. There's Champ Dupe if we wanted for Blitzcrank 3. I don't think it's that crazy. Just gonna take a GS for the Kogmaw here and just fully try to itemize this Kogmaw. Interesting. And Static Shiv as well. Yep, there is the Blitzcrank 3. Make sure to I mean, I think this would have like he didn't have to bench that Blitzcrank, I'm pretty sure. And oh, this is the idea. He's gonna move the red buff over and actually keep the wow. That's wild to me. This is his ideal Kog'Maw setup. I think because his read is that fights are so long that he actually would prefer the Gwinsu over the red buff. I feel like the statistics definitely say red buff over Gwinsu, but obviously that's because red buff is just gives you heal cut, you know? Interesting. Wow, this is a cool game so far. Another interesting call from Dishsoap here. He's opting to play Hunter on this board. He's going to try to say, you know what, my board needs damage in this fight. I don't really need that extra tankiness. I just need damage here. This is a scary board, though. This is the last person that we need to fight for the dub here, but can we just burst through? The big thing is like randomly bursting down the Smolder, because Smolder sometimes will just absolutely int it. We're also looking at potentially leveling down the line. Yordle Spirit looks very, very good in this matchup, so we'll see. He's looking also at, I'm not sure what this is actually. He's playing 4 Honeymancy on the board. Oh, the idea is just that he got another he has the duplicator from the Ornn item, so he doesn't need to. He can just play 4 Honeymancy. I mean, why not? Because we would lose. I think 2 Tanky is one of those ones where it says exactly 2, so we'd lose 2 Tanky value if we played 3 Blitzcranks, which is funny. All right, 1 round to go. There's a Honeymancy spat just in the nick of time, so we can level and play 5 Honeymancy here. I mean, we can just play 5 Honeymancy now, but we can level now and play everything. This looks really. I mean, this looks like Dishsoap's best chance at getting a dub here. He's gonna level here, get the Bastion in, throw Honeymancy emblem here. He would love to pick up, yeah, just any combat charm would be good. Obviously, it would be nice to still have the Heck Rim, but this is good enough. And is 5 honey enough to close out this game? We will see very, very, very soon. All right. How's the board doing? I mean, the front line is holding up. We also have a lot of damage. Oh my god, the Briar just jumps straight to backline though. We have a huge Nunu. I mean, can Nunu with all the, oh my god, look at those bees go! Oh my god. It just absolutely takes him down. All right, we are at the end of the game, but I do want to check up on that thing that I was curious about here. I gotta go just a 5-1 here, because that's where it happened. Let me see. Okay, no, this wasn't on purpose. I was wondering if Dishsoap ended up taking Glove here from Anvil to keep the possibility of getting a spat off Carousel and make a Honeymancy spat. I mean, this is still really good for him because he ended up, I mean, he did take Glove off this Carousel, I believe, which if he took it off that Carousel with the idea of going for Honeymancy spat way later in the game just to keep that open, then that is crazy. But I mean, maybe that was his idea, the reason why he decided to take Glove over any of these components. We'll see. I mean, we won't see because the game's over. But it's really, really nice, clean play to keep that Glove open, because if there's a spat on any carousel, then boom, you get Honeymancy spat, and then you know, as we got there, we win the game. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, boom, check out the Monopoly Go if you're interested in getting free coaching and playing a really, really cool mobile game. I'm going to be live today. I guess, I don't know. That's not usually okay, there's the QR code. I was just buying time with the QR code. Go scan it, play it on your phone. We'd greatly appreciate it. Supports the channel and everything that I do a lot. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.